So welcome back to MrYouWho. Andy here, great to see you. And boy am I excited to be back here today, can't you tell? Today we're looking at the Casio G Shock watch that I purchased 25 years ago. Here's the watch here. Now after 25 years, the watch is still going strong. So what I want to do is explore this watch a bit, kind of show you how it's worn in that time. Also look at G Shock generally, talk about the watch, the key things about G Shock. And then looking at two of my favourite G Shock watches that I like to have a look at. So all that coming up on MrYouWho. So now here is a G Shock watch here that I purchased in 1995, 25 years ago. Now I do say, I love G Shock. This watch was the first one I ever purchased. And it's been part of my life for 25 years, would you believe? Even though I look quite young, as you see. So yeah, so let's sit back, get strapped in, and look out for this review at MrYouWho. Already did that. Well, the Casio G Shock watches have been around since the early 1980s. And over time, these watches have continued to develop. Would you believe by the late 1990s, there were over 200 different types of G Shock watches? It's quite extraordinary. They're also very popular with emergency services such as police, firefighters, film directors, and even astronauts. Would you believe some of the watches, such as DW 5600 series, have actually been to outer space and accredited by NASA? It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? They're extraordinary watches for their quality, also for their durability. And would you believe they've also got the world record for durability? On October 30th, 2017, a 24.97 tonne truck drove over the DW 5600E watch. It did not sustain any significant damage, and the watch functioned normally, which gave it a Guinness Book of Records title. So this really is an incredible watch brand. Now, as you can see from the watch here, I bought this over 25 years ago. Now I've actually reset the display and it reads 1995. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and actually zoom in on this watch and have a bit of a chat about it and the watch generally. So let's get into it right now. So as you can see, here is the G Shock watch. Now if you ever look at the display there, it says 1995. So I reset the watch. Now that's back when I actually purchased this watch. So I purchased it when I was 15 back in Melbourne, Australia. Now, would you believe I've only had to replace the battery of the watch once in 25 years, which is quite extraordinary. Now, if you have a look at the actual glass, as you can see, there's no actual scratches on there at all. If you look at the body as well, it's all in very, very good nick. I'll take the band off in a minute. The only thing that's got discoloration in place is actually the band from being used, but even then, the tough rubber in place makes sure it's good. There's actually no damage around the face as well. Now, I'm not a light user of watches. The band maintains quality. There's no way that band's going to slip at all from the G Shock watch in place. Now, when I first bought this watch, sorry, the band's a little bit dirty there as well. I had trouble cleaning that out, but I mean, obviously, 25-year-old watch that's being used. I didn't buy another watch after this for 25 years because of the quality is quite extraordinary. Now, it's got all your calendar, your alarm clock, your stopwatch, and your backlight in there as well. Now, it's quite difficult to change the time on this watch. I actually need to go online and find some older manuals in place because it's so old. Now, one thing about the G Shocks in the past now, these days they're made out of stainless steel and they use proper driver screws. So if you have a look at the back here, if you have a look at there, see the 4 screws, 1 there, 1, 2, then 3 and 4 there. Now these were actually nicknamed screwbacks. And the reason being is because obviously screws in place. These days they use rubberized resin bezel in a plastic case. These ones here were actually made out of stainless steel. Now the only ones you can get now for G Shocks that actually are in the screws in the back are the Frogman models. Now they're made, or you can get the anniversary editions that come out every 5 years, I think it is. So yeah. Now with this watch in particular, I've swum with it, dived with it, run with it, dropped it. The timing's still exact. Now I will reset that timing later on the watch, but I managed to go through scores of G Shock watches, and they've always maintained their quality. It really is extraordinary. So yeah, I mean, you won't go wrong. 25 years going strong, this watch. Quite incredible. So let's have a look now at a couple of different G Shock watches that I like. Actually, let me just put on my wrist quickly as well, so you can have a look at how it looks on my wrist. There it is. My little baby watch. Now I hope you can agree that is quite extraordinary that watch has been part of my life for 25 years. And looking at the watch as well, I mean, it may potentially have another 25 years to go. Batteries have only been changed once. It still runs well. Yeah, it's quite extraordinary and well done, G Shock. So now I want to have a look at a couple of G Shock watches. So the first one we'll look at is a G Shock GA 100. So let's cut across the video now and have a look. The Casio GA 100 watch is a really good looking watch. Now the watch is quite aesthetically pleasing, and it's also very durable and functional. Has options such as world time with 29 different time zones, 1,000 second stopwatch, countdown timer. It's shock, mud, magnetic and water resistant up to 660 feet. Has your calendar, your alarms. It's basically built to withstand anything you can throw at it. For example, it's water resistant up to 200 meters, anti-magnetic structure, the shock resistant, and approximate battery life for up to 2 years. Means it's ideal. It's quite a big case, big watch as well, but it's only about 70 grams in size, so it's not that large. This anti-skid large buttons give it appearance of overall strength and durability. Many refer to this as a three-eyed monster. A combination of analog and digital face is a fantastic hybrid of new age or traditional technology with a 3D appearance. Now it doesn't mean you're not limited either, as the displays can be configured using its large buttons for a multitude of different functions. So overall, it's fully shock-proofed, waterproofed and magnetic-proofed in every condition. It's very durable, good price, and many features make it a very solid, attractive watch for both everyday and outdoor use. I really love this watch. So I hope you enjoyed that watch. So the next one I want to have a look at now is a G Shock Cg 100. Again, a lovely little watch, really enjoy it. So let's have a look at it now. Now this next watch is the Casio Cg 100, and why I like this watch as well is because you can use it when you get down to dirty work. It can take you deep into dirt and sludge because multiple gaskets are used in the pipes that guide buttons and shafts, which keeps some mud out. So it protects not only the buttons from impacts, but it also allows the easy operation. There's also twin sensors on there that improve access to direction and temperature information, even when you're under tough conditions. I like the big numerals on the outside as well. It has a LED light as well, and a high brightness auto LED light to ensure that you can see it under any conditions. Now this is part of the Master of G Mudmaster series watches, and it's the latest edition. So all the buttons are checked under operation as well to make sure that they don't fail. Now the band is a resin band, which is quite normal for G Shock. It also has, the shock resistance, the mineral glass, and again, like the previous watch, it's 200 meter water resistant, which is really good as well. It's a bit heavier than the last watch we looked at too, at 94 grams. But this is because it has a bit more information in there, I guess a bit more details in there as well. So yeah, it's a really nice watch, this one. It's quite easy to change different functions by pressing the buttons, as you can see there. Like all G Shock watches as well, can you see how bright and shiny it is at the top? See there, just changing the different functions in place as well. So yeah, that's the G Shock Cg 100. So I hope you really enjoyed looking at my G Shock watch that I purchased all those years ago, and also looking at G Shock generally and the two watches that I really enjoy. So there's links to purchase the watches down below if you like them, want to purchase them. As always, we really appreciate you joining us here at MrYouWho. We've got a couple more great videos coming up in future. So as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification button, and thank you for joining us here at MrYouWho.